During intimacy, my boyfriend always removes my glasses, murmuring how he adores my slightly squinted almond eyes, until I overheard him boasting to others. She's nearsighted, can't see well enough to stop my moves, just takes whatever I dish out. TSK, zero resistance from start to finish. Someone jokingly asked how he conquered me. Luke Chin flashed a mysterious smile. Conservative girls are all alike. They only surrender to men who promise marriage. I bought a fixer-upper in cash, deeded solely to Belchine. She was so touched, thinking I'd stake my entire fortune on her. How could she refuse me? To save for our wedding, I took a side gig at my best friend's wedding planning company. That day, I came to the hotel to meet a VIP client. Waiting in the lobby lounge, I heard a man ask mockingly, "Young Master Luke Chin, still not done with your Cinderella charity project? Your alliance marriage with the Shun family is settled. The wedding's approaching." I instinctively tilted my head slightly. Luke Chun, same name as my boyfriend, though mine's just a medical equipment salesman. But my boyfriend was just a medical equipment salesman. Then a familiar voice replied, "What's the rush? We've still got a month." I'm rather reluctant to part with Belchine. Instantly, it felt like icy water had been dumped over me. My entire body plunged into frozen darkness. Belchine was me. The other man snorted derisively. Is this true love? Luke Shin took a casual sip of wine. Not quite, just physically compatible. Besides, Luke lowered his voice. She's nearsighted, can't see clearly. Some maneuvers happen too fast for her to protest, so she just accepts them. TSK, zero resistance from start to finish. His companion roared with laughter. That girl was famously pursued by the Fu family's heir. Maseratis, Hermes bags, the whole spectacle. Yet she never budged. They say she's the pure type. How'd you land a royal flush on the first deal? Luke Chin flashed a mysterious smile. Conservative girls only surrender to men who'll marry them. I bought a fixer-upper in cash, deeded solely to Belchine. She was so touched, thinking I'd stake my entire fortune on her. How could she refuse me? It's like leading a donkey. You need a clear incentive dangling ahead. Cars and handbags don't prove marriage intent. But a cash-purchased home? That's the incentive. Growing impatient, Luke turned to the butler. Where's Miss Shen? Weren't we meeting the wedding planner together? I froze. My scheduled client today happened to be a Shun. In a fluid motion, Luke swung his trench coat over one shoulder. I'm busy. Tell Sophia Shun to decide everything. Her call. To his driver, he ordered, Southside, that popular bakery. His friend teased. No time to accompany his fiancée for wedding preparations. Yet he'd take detours to buy cheap little cakes for Cinderella. Luke Chin kicked out with his foot. Piss off. Then added with some regret. Honestly, if it weren't for her nearsightedness, I wouldn't want our son inheriting those genes. Even if my parents objected, I'd fight for her. What a shame. I sat frozen in place, remembering how Luke had kissed my forehead that morning when I woke. Back then, I'd pushed him away blushing. I didn't like what you did last night. Luke smoothed my hair. Won't happen again. That's what you said last time. Unfazed, he chuckled. Then what? Should I redo it the way Weo prefers? My neck burned crimson. Shut up. Aren't you late for overtime? Go already. Luke made a show of checking his watch. Right. Mustn't lose this month's perfect attendance bonus. Still saving to buy Weo that spacious home. Open floor plan with floor-to-ceiling windows. For the 100th time, I told him I loved our current place. Old but warm, you didn't need to put only my name on the deed. It was your money after all. If Uncle and Aunt found out, they'd certainly be displeased. Luke Shin straightened his collar and gave me a goodbye kiss. How is it unnecessary? If someday I'm no longer by your side, at least this could remain as your sanctuary. I chided him for speaking such ill omens, never imagining his words would prove prophetic. For princes must always return to their castles to wed princesses, while Cinderella still toils at part-time jobs, naively saving pennies for a proper home. A crystalline female voice severed my reverie. My apologies for the delay. I'm Sophia Shun. The woman before me wore a crisp white pantsuit, her hair cascading silkily down her back. Her gentle features carried genuine contrition. Sophia produced an exquisitely packaged perfume box from her bag, a small token for your patience. I glanced at the luxury brand fragrance, 30 milliliters retailing over 3,000 yuan. As I prepared to decline, Sophia's friend breezed in. That Luke guy left ages ago. Said the wedding funds, 3 million. Overspending's fine. Wants you to plan whatever you fancy. Can't even spare time to meet the wedding coordinator with you. Some love story. Sophia pressed the perfume into my palm, remarking offhandedly, "Love? Hardly. This is strictly alliance marriage. What happened before marriage doesn't concern me. As long as he behaves after the wedding. Worst case scenario, even if he strays after marriage, I'd only be popping champagne to celebrate. I'd merely be rid of a rotting cucumber, while the Chen family would have to concede at least 30% of their profits to me. Talk about hitting the jackpot." I'd been hesitating whether to tell her the truth, but now I swallowed my words in silence. Is this how the world of the wealthy operates? Love is utterly irrelevant. Interests are eternal. Sophia summoned the waiter again, ordering some light meals and desserts before finally turning her attention to me. "Belchine, right? I've seen your work. Quite inspired. Just my preferred style. This document outlines my basic requirements for the wedding. Have a look first." Her demands were specific. The venue was to be the Bulgari Hotel. The entire hotel would be reserved for the wedding day, with banquet tables at 23 yen, 888 each, 50 tables in total. The wedding theme must center around calla lilies. I studied the details carefully before offering my suggestion. If we start decorating a week in advance, the hotel will charge a hefty fee. It's really unnecessary. 3 days prior should suffice. My team can expedite the setup. From a cost-performance perspective, when I looked up, Sophia was smiling at me. Suddenly, it dawned on me, things like cost-performance simply don't exist in their vocabulary. I murmured, "My apologies for the presumption. Let's begin 1 week earlier then." Just then, the server arrived with our meals. Instinctively, I moved my belongings to the chair to avoid cluttering her dining space. But Sophia pushed her plate toward me. "Eat." I looked up in surprise. Sophia tilted her chin slightly, signaling I shouldn't stand on ceremony. "You're pale as a ghost, blood sugar crash? Have something to eat first." After concluding negotiations with Sophia, I walked alone down the sun-dappled plane tree avenue and called my confidant Ninagu. The floodgates finally opened. My voice cracked with unshed tears. "Luke Chun is marrying someone else, distracted by some unknown task." Nina answered offhandedly. "Then dump him. Plenty of fish in the sea. But Luke and I already. We've been intimate." My final words dwindled to a whisper quieter than a mosquito's hum. I could practically hear Nina's exaggerated eye roll through the phone. "So what? You Victorian-era prudes are impossible." After hearing my full account, Nina fell silent before tentatively suggesting, "Listen, maybe we should finish this job first. Not that I'm insisting we take it. I just hate seeing you treated like this. Why should you be made the fool?" Miss Shun made it clear that if the wedding outcome meets her expectations, she's willing to pay you an additional 300,000 yuan as a token of gratitude, on top of the standard planning fees. For this project, after deducting company expenses, I'll give you all the profits. Don't be naive. You need more than just love. You need bread too. In the end, I agreed to Nina Gu's proposal. "Luke Chun, I'll plan you a wedding like no other." That night, I returned home to find Luke in the kitchen, simmering soup. He brightened when he saw me and said eagerly, "Sweetheart, the supermarket had black pork ribs on sale today, 30% off. I bought some to make you soup. Rest for a bit. It'll be ready soon." I couldn't help curling my lips in a mocking smile. How could someone be so two-faced? A man spending 3 million on a wedding, yet buying discounted ribs? Luke carefully carried the soup out. "Drink it while it's hot." I listlessly scooped a spoonful. Too salty, and it smells gamey. Luke froze. In the past, whenever he cooked, I'd scold him tenderly for working all day only to come home and make dinner, then polish off every last bite. Never once had I complained about the taste. This was the first time. Luke, ever patient, took the bowl away. "Then don't drink it. What would you like? I'll order takeout. Not hungry. Eat it yourself. I'm not hungry. You go ahead and eat. Bad day? Luke Chen ventured cautiously. I lowered my eyes, just exhausted. Immediately, Luke began massaging my shoulders. Why does your company make you work weekends? Don't go next time. He didn't know I was moonlighting as a wedding planner. His hands gradually wandered downward with suggestive intent. I intercepted them abruptly, thrusting a medical report at him. The doctor diagnosed ovarian cyst rupture. No intimacy for a month. The document was forged. Of course, I simply refused to participate in his farewell performance. Part of me even hoped this would force his hand, exposing the relationship's hypocrisy. But Luke only frowned. Did I really hurt you? I'm so sorry. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. My internal reaction. This wasn't part of the script. Luke became genuinely attentive. He researched recovery protocols online, dispensing medication reminders, enforcing rest periods, assuming all household duties. He even insisted on accompanying me to the follow-up checkup. I declined, feigning modesty. Obviously, that would expose the whole charade. Meanwhile, Sophia Shun's wedding preparations progressed methodically. She praised my proposal enthusiastically. MS. Chin, your design exceeds my wildest expectations. I smiled without a word. Some of the design details incorporated my personal collection, originally intended for mine and Luke Chen's wedding, now rendered useless. I piled them all onto this extravagant ceremony without hesitation. As Sophia Shun's best friend marveled, she also bristled with indignation. Luke's gone too far. Playing the absentee groom? Not even a single appearance. Sophia dismissed it casually. Men, if he won't waste time on trivialities, let him be. Yet I suddenly remembered how enthusiastic Luke had been when we first bought our home. We spent every weekend combing through furniture stores, choosing everything from wallpaper to floor tiles, down to a single lamp or tissue box together. Back then, I truly believed I'd struck gold with him. Now, I see it was just the young master playing dress up. 7 days to the wedding, construction crew arrives. 6 days to the wedding, the MC makes his debut. A household name TV host, reportedly an old family friend of the Shuns, specially invited to officiate. After reviewing his script, I confirmed its brilliance, neither overly sentimental nor lacking warmth. 5 days to the wedding, I erected a rainbow at the heart of the venue myself. The hand-dyed threads custom-ordered from Belgium stretched over 100,000 meters in length within the 26-foot high auditorium space. Each strand was meticulously assembled on site, from color coordination to gradient blending. I personally oversaw every detail. The labor spanned 2 full days and nights before completion. A luminous halo, not quite a rainbow, yet surpassing one, streamed through the skylight, painting the hall with resplendent radiance. Sophia Shun gazed transfixed, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. What do you call this design? After a contemplative pause, I answered softly, some souls are like rainbows. You never know they exist until you meet them. Sophia offered a strained smile before turning to me. At the wedding, I want to toss the bridal bouquet to you. As I began to politely decline, Luke Chen's voice carried from across the room. This rainbow installation is incredible. Who's the artist? Sophia moved toward him. What brings you here today? Luke snapped a photo of the rainbow while muttering vague pleasantries, already typing on his phone. The next moment, my phone chimed. A message from Luke appeared, accompanied by a photo. Babe, check out this venue setup for our corporate event. Gorgeous, right? Almost simultaneously, Luke frowned toward the partition upon hearing the notification. Someone's back there? Sophia answered cheerfully. Just our wedding planner. She's the genius behind this rainbow. Shall I introduce you? Luke Chen stared intently at the screen, advancing step by step. Sophia Shun watched him with puzzled eyes. The next moment, the screen was abruptly pulled aside, revealing an empty space behind. Nina leaned closer. You can tell me what you need. I'm the wedding planner's owner. Our event coordinator had to leave suddenly. Luke snapped back to attention. No matter. Just remembered an appointment. I'll take my leave. With that, He turned and strode away with purpose. Once alone, Nina spoke into her phone. "He's gone," I said gratefully. "Thank you." That evening, Luke returned home. The moment he entered, he sidled up to me. "I brought you a gift." A rainbow-colored bracelet coiled around my wrist. As he spoke, Luke studied my expression while fastening it. I remained composed. "Quite pretty." Luke scrutinized my face. "Sweetheart, anything to tell me?" After lowering my gaze briefly, I laughed and arched a brow. "What? Must I thank you for a mere bracelet?" Seeing my nonchalance, Luke exhaled in relief. "This isn't just any bracelet. Ever heard the saying? Someone like a rainbow. You'll know when you meet." I shoved him away. "Could you be any cheesier?" Luke Chin smiled as he took my hand. "Wuyo, I will marry you without fail." "Wait for me 3 years. Will you?" "I'm working hard toward it already." I didn't answer, inexplicably, recalling a hypnotherapy session from long ago. As the session ended, the hypnotist whispered in my ear, "Now I'll count down from 5 to 0. With each number, you'll grow more awake. At 1, you may open your eyes. At 0, you'll be fully alert, feeling better than before. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, 0. The wedding countdown became, for me, the overture to awakening. The day before the ceremony, Luke casually mentioned needing to travel for work. His gaze lingered tenderly. "Wait for my return. There's something I must tell you." I masked the derision in my eyes. "Of course. I'll look forward to it." At dawn on the wedding day, Nina, Gu came for me. "You're truly going to the venue?" "Not planning to stop the wedding. Are you?" Cross-checking schedules while coordinating with the makeup artist, lighting designer, and sound engineer. I answered distractedly. "Don't be absurd. This is simply work." As the wedding planner, I know every detail. If I don't oversee it, who will manage the event? Nina grasped my hand. "Doesn't this pain you?" I pondered carefully. It did hurt, but during the entire 30-day preparation period, the most painful days had long been drowned in busyness. When I immersed myself in the situation, I realized I was never truly part of it. "Luke Chun, I can accept loving the wrong person, but I can't accept you making a fool of me. So, it's time to end this." The wedding turned out to be unexpectedly perfect. Calla lilies adorned the entire hall. The crystal elements were arranged just right, neither too plain nor overly elaborate. Many guests couldn't help but marvel. "This is the most stunning wedding I've ever attended. I wonder which wedding company pulled this off. I'd want mine just like this when I get married." That rainbow was truly breathtaking. It looked almost real at first glance. Nina, Gu handed out business cards until her arm ached, adding numerous potential clients on WeChat, grinning from ear to ear. Luke Chun, the groom, wore a perfectly measured smile throughout, standing beside Sophia Shun. They truly embodied the ideal match, both in talent and social standing. During the thank you speech, Sophia waved at me from the stage. "For this wedding, I'd like to especially thank my wedding coordinator, Belchine. If every girl dreams of her perfect wedding since childhood, then she is the one who made mine come true." I froze momentarily. This wasn't part of the agreed arrangement. Caught off guard, the spotlight suddenly swung toward me. In an instant, Luke Chen's face turned deathly pale. He tried to stop Sophia Shun from handing me the microphone, whispering in a voice only I could hear, "Wuyo, don't make a scene. This isn't an occasion for you to interfere. I promised I'd marry you. Can't you even wait 3 years?" I studied Luke carefully. His entire face was ashen, beads of sweat glistening on his forehead as his makeup began to streak. I smiled. Even now, Luke still thought I'd come to ruin his wedding, as if fighting over him. This prize catch was the most natural choice in the world for me. Ignoring him, I calmly accepted the microphone from Sophia. "I too must thank MS Shun for entrusting me with such an important occasion, her wedding day. Let me offer my sincerest blessings to the happy couple. May you share life's hardships and joys, wander the world together, cherish every moment, and grow old hand in hand." Only when I returned the microphone to Sophia did Luke's tense posture finally relax. He looked as though he'd been dragged from water, drenched and shaken. Many guests had noticed his odd behavior and murmured among themselves. What's wrong with the groom? He looks positively ghastly. Could he be ill or something? After the ceremony, Luke Chin cornered me backstage. He roughly dragged me into an empty room, nearly shouting his accusation. Who gave you the right to act on your own? If Sophia Shin finds out, any collaboration between the Chun and Shin families will be impossible. Do you have any idea how much this will cost us? This was the first time Luke had ever raised his voice at me. All traces of his usual gentleness had vanished. I looked up at him as if he were a stranger. Luke froze, realizing he'd lost control. He collapsed into a chair like a deflated balloon. Weo, I didn't mean to yell, but you should have discussed this with me first. I laughed bitterly. Do you even hear yourself? When I caught you cheating, my first thought should have been discussing it with you. Luke Chun, we're through. Luke reached for me, but I sidestepped his grasp. I promised I'd marry you. Why can't you just trust me? I've already worked out a solution for us. Luke's so-called solution was for me to obediently play the kept woman for 3 years. During that time, he drugged Sophia to ensure she'd never conceive. Meanwhile, he'd accelerate the Chun family's business dealings with the Shuns to maximize their interests. After 3 years, Luke promised me a child of our own. By then, my parents will surely resent Sophia Shun for not bearing a child. Then you'll show up at their doorstep with the baby, demanding commitment for yourself and the child. I believe for the sake of their grandchild. My parents will agree. When that happens, I'll divorce Sophia, and we can be together openly, never to part again. I stared, aghast. This is the solution you devised for me? Luke Chin nodded, faintly regretful. The only drawback is I won't be able to accompany you constantly these 3 years. As before, you'll have to endure it. I raised my hand and slapped him clean across the face. You scum, in your grand scheme, my dignity, another woman's well-being, none of it matters. Does it? What next? Should I grovel in gratitude too? Luke seemed unprepared for my strike. After a long pause, he leaned back, scrutinizing me with detached superiority. Belchine, compose yourself. Objectively speaking, isn't this your sole path to upward mobility? 1 moment of sacrifice for a lifetime of luxury. Isn't it worth it? I let out a cold laugh. Do you love me? Luke's gaze softened slightly. Of course I do. I held his eyes. I've thought of a solution for you too. Sever ties with the Chin family and be with me. From now on, we'll build our future together. Luke Chin frowned. Don't be rash. You know I can't do that. I laughed mirthlessly. If you can't let go of your young master status, quit pretending this is some epic love story where I'm irreplaceable. Luke might love me, but he loves himself more. Perfectly normal, because so do I. Before turning to leave, I left him one last remark. Young Master Chen, wanting everything while refusing to sacrifice anything. That's how you end up with nothing at all. As I reached for the door, Luke swiftly locked it first. The next moment, his familiar scent enveloped me as he pinned me against the wall. He nuzzled my cheek with his nose. Stop this. HM? His wandering fingers trailed downward. I tilted my head up obediently, as I always did. The instant his grip loosened, I kneed him hard between the legs. Luke groaned in pain before snarling. Belchine, know your fucking place. Just as he raised his hand to grab me, Sophia Shun's voice came through the door. Luke, are you in there? It's time for the toasting. Luke Chin tensed immediately. I slipped into the walk-in closet. Only after hearing Luke's limping footsteps follow Sophia Shin away did I emerge. The next moment, my pupils contracted. On the table lay a bouquet of calla lilies, glistening with morning dew. The bride's bouquet. After the wedding ceremony concluded, I left early. Nina Gu could handle the remaining tasks. I had no desire to cross paths with Luke Chin again. I raced home, packed Luke's belongings with military efficiency, and dumped them in the trash bins downstairs. My own possessions went into suitcases, dispatched via courier to Nina's apartment. One last time, I surveyed the hollowed-out home. Traces of our cozy decor remained, but the warmth we'd once kindled here was irrevocably gone. I called the realtor to list the property. Then I unclasped the rainbow friendship bracelet from my wrist. letting it drop onto the floorboards without a backward glance. Almost simultaneously, Luke's message arrived. Yo, my offer still stands. If you change your mind, just send me that sticker, okay? He meant the kitten meme, a wide-eyed kitten staring defiantly at the camera, captioned, "Do you want logic or me?" During past arguments with Luke, I'd weaponize the sticker whenever I was wrong but too stubborn to apologize. Luke Chen always found me impossible to handle. Yes, you win, little ancestor. This trick never failed, but this time, I raised my hand and deleted that sticker. Luke's message popped up again. For 3 years, I can give you everything except commitment. After 3 years, I'll give you even my own life. I blocked Luke Chen without hesitation. Luke always believed Sophia Chen was his responsibility, and I was his love. Love and duty could be separated, but he never understood. In the end, love comes down to conscience. 13. That night, Sophia Chen transferred 300,000 yuan to my account as promised, a token of gratitude for the perfect wedding. Meanwhile, Nina Gu calculated all the wedding expenses and staff bonuses. She transferred the remaining profits to me in full. All told, my account now held 158 million. A few days later, a realtor contacted me. Someone wanted to view the property, but a man was sitting at the doorstep, refusing to let them in. The agent sounded exasperated. He's clutching some colorful friendship bracelet, just planted there on the steps. Won't budge. Keeps insisting it's his home. And that glare, damn terrifying. I was in the airport lounge then, client files spread across the seat beside me, listening to the agent's complaints. I replied flatly, "Call the police if you have to." Later, the agent informed me they'd actually called the police. Under the officer's persuasion, the man left looking utterly dejected. Nina Gu asked me, "Really don't care anymore?" After some thought, I answered earnestly, "Still care a little." Just as she was about to explode and throttle me, I finished my sentence. What if they use this as leverage to lowball my property price? Nina promptly withdrew her raised hand. That shouldn't happen. That fixer-upper's now in a school district, its values skyrocketing. Luke Chen's character may be questionable, but his investment instincts are razor-sharp. Ultimately, that dilapidated little place sold for a whopping $378 million, patting my bank account nicely. Nina said I'd traded love for wealth and career blessings from the god of fortune. After consideration, I stated with conviction, in that case, I should be able to bankrupt him through sheer exchange volume. 3 years passed in a blink, and I returned to the city once more. Truthfully, I hadn't planned to come back, but a client insisted on holding their wedding in City A. Their sincerity was overwhelming. They were willing to wait for my availability. I couldn't refuse such courtesy, though I'd mentally prepared to encounter Luke Chen again. I never expected it to happen so soon. I watched with muted exasperation as Luke staged this chance meeting in the hotel lobby. His cheeks were flushed, yet he stubbornly refused to step aside. Luke Chen's gaze lingered on my eyes. "You've become even more beautiful," I replied meaningfully. I had LASIK surgery. No more glasses now. To this day, Luke remains unaware I overheard that conversation with his friend. He simply nodded and said, "Your eyes are stunning. They deserve to be seen." I dipped my chin in silent acknowledgement. The air between us grew stiff. Luke tried again. "Heard you've made it big as a freelance wedding planner. These 3 years, I've grown step by step. Quit my job, went full-time coordinating weddings. Most projects are still with Nina Gu, though I take private clients too." Nina never minded. She championed me wholeheartedly. Now, I've become a sought-after independent wedding designer. My fees reflect that. Of course, suddenly Luke became a fountain of grievances, spilling years of frustrations. He claimed Sophia Chen had been undermining him relentlessly. What should have been mutually beneficial partnerships always favored the Chen family, and Sophia kept him at arm's length all along. Luke grumbled. Once I cooked her dinner. She took 2 bites and said, "Leave specialties to specialists." Told me not to steal the chef's job. "And you claimed hers tasted better. Back then I cut him off before he could finish. I was pretending back then. Truthfully, it really wasn't good. Besides, I have no interest in hearing this. If Luke Chen could complain to me about Sophia Shen, naturally, he'd complain about me to her too. I could practically picture him whining to Sophia about my insatiable greed. After a long silence, Luke suddenly said, Sophia filed for divorce. You know what? I don't think she ever loved me. Sometimes I'd try to be good to her, but she'd just frown and tell me not to bother. I snapped impatiently, and, young Master Luke, if love is the hardest thing you've ever endured, then I truly struggle to sympathize. After all, most people in this world are still scrambling for mere scraps of silver. Even though I'm not short on money now, I dare not stop moving forward. Unlike Luke Chen, I have no family fortune or safety net to catch me. As I rose to leave, Luke reached to stop me, but someone intercepted him. Hey, no, being rude to the lady. Somehow, Jiang Yanxi had appeared before me, casually handing me a notebook. Miss Qin, you left this behind. Luke reacted like a cat with its tail stepped on. Who is he? Jiang Yanxi and I spoke simultaneously. Me, a client. Jiang Yanxi, boyfriend. After speaking, we locked eyes. I glared at him. Jiang Yanxi put on a wounded expression. Finally, I relented. Fine. Then corrected myself. FWB. Jiang Yanxi gaped at me. That's not what you said last night. I ground my teeth. We were both drunk. What happened was consensual. Since when does that require responsibility? Jiang Yanxi pursed his lips, conceded, and nodded at Luke Chen. All right then, FWB. Luke Chen stared at me in disbelief. You've changed so much. Turn off. Luke Chen flashed a grin, even hotter. Then Jiang Yanxi promptly punched him, aimed squarely at the face. I rolled my eyes heavenward. What kind of mess is this? Luke Chen immediately called the police, threatening to have Jiang Yanxi arrested, only to be restrained by his arriving parents. Our apologies, officer. Just a misunderstanding. Kids, roughhousing. We'll settle this privately. The officer nodded sagely. Indeed, one's 23, the other 28, practically infants. A good beating at home will sort him out. Luke Chen kept arguing until his father slapped him across the face. The company just received the Jiang family's investment deal yesterday. What's the big deal if young Master Jiang gave you a couple of hits? Though Luke's mother looked pained, she still forced him to apologize to Jiang Yanxi. Luke's entire face radiated defiance. Jiang Yanxi wasn't having it either. Don't bother. Who'd dare accept an apology like this? That look practically screamed. I'll apologize if you kneel to receive it. Mrs. Chen, shrewd as ever, turned her gaze to me. You must be Miss Qin. I've wanted to meet you for ages, but never had the chance. Such a lovely girl, pretty and capable. You don't slap a smiling face. Besides, if we trace this back, Jiang Yanxi threw the first punch. I didn't want him getting into trouble because of me, so I signaled to let it go. After finally ushering out these formidable figures, I turned and saw a familiar silhouette. Sophia Shen approached gracefully. Drink? We settled into the executive lounge. After a long silence, we spoke simultaneously. I'm sorry. Thank you. Then we both burst out laughing. I'm thanking you for arranging my wedding. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about Luke Chen and me sooner. Sophia dismissed it casually. You were worried about collecting the final payment. I understand. The world chases profit, and we're no exception. I couldn't help but ask. I heard you filed for divorce. Sophia Shen nodded. I've already gotten what I wanted. Sophia told me a long story. She said she originally had a childhood sweetheart, an outstanding, kind man she was engaged to. So outstanding that Sophia often wondered why such a good man had always obeyed her every word since childhood. He protected Sophia as she grew up, and before turning 20. She was still an innocent young girl, but before they could marry, he was in a car crash and became a coma patient. Sophia took a sip of wine. Do you know the Kong family? I nodded. The Kongs were once a top-tier wealthy family, but recently, many scandals about them surfaced. One stone stirred 1,000 waves. Now, they're going through bankruptcy. Several of their leaders were even sentenced. Sophia said calmly, I did that. Sophia said her alliance marriage with the Chen family was only to gain the power to take down the Kongs, because she discovered by chance that her fiancé's accident was the Kong family's doing. Thus, the sheltered girl forced herself to grow ruthless and formidable. Now that her goal was achieved, she was returning to him. Sophia Shun lifted her gaze to meet mine. Nothing ever happened between Luke Chun and me. If you still have feelings for him. I arched an eyebrow. No longer. Sophia clinked her glass against mine with a smile. I thought as much. Before she left, I asked, has your fiancé woken yet? Sophia waved her phone with a knowing smile. I never turn it off or silence it, because I can't risk missing his waking call. I raised my glass in a distant toast. He will wake. Sophia turned to leave. Her white dress billowed as she walked tall, like a calla lily in full bloom. Suddenly, I remembered the flower's meaning. Undying love. Sophia Shun and Luke Chen's divorce became the scandal of the season. Yet I emerged as the unexpected beneficiary. Netizens unearthed their extravagant wedding footage, marveling how such grandeur had lasted less than 3 years. The publicity brought an endless stream of inquiries and bookings. Soon I was working around the clock. Nina Gu was torn between bliss and bitter frustration. She kept muttering to herself, the money never stops flowing in. It's endless. Just when I was at my busiest, Luke Chun, seemingly provoked by Jiang Yanxi, began pursuing me with grand gestures. Though the Chen family no longer possessed their former vast wealth, a starved camel is still bigger than a horse. Luke sent flowers, handbags, even cars. He made it a point to appear outside my office building every single day. Many placed quiet bets, speculating what Luke's next extravagant gift would be. But all I could think was how infuriating it was to be disturbed during my busiest hours. So one evening, I finally snapped and went downstairs to confront him. When Luke saw me approach, his eyes lit up. Wuyo, I've finally settled everything. We can be together forever now. I extended my hand and demanded, what's today's offering? My uncharacteristic response made Luke think he'd finally won me over. He handed me a jewelry box containing a diamond tennis bracelet. As he reached to fasten it around my wrist, he deliberately exposed the faded rainbow friendship bracelet, still clinging to his own. I jerked my hand back. The jewelry box slipped from my fingers and clattered onto the pavement. Luke bent to retrieve the dust-streaked box, brushing it off gently before murmuring with wounded pride, still not ready to forgive me? I spoke with measured calm. No incentive this time. After all, gifting cars and bags, those weren't the carrots dangled before the donkey, were they? Luke Chen's pupils contracted sharply. Memories came flooding back. The Luke Chen of 3 years past whispered in present Luke's ear. It's like leading a donkey. You need a clear incentive dangling ahead. Cars and handbags don't prove marriage intent. But a cash-purchased home? That's the incentive. For the first time, panic flashed across Luke's face. Until this moment, he believed I merely resented his choosing another. He stammered out, that's not how it was. I can explain. In our circle, showing genuine affection for a woman invites ridicule. So I only pretended not to care about you. I raised my hand to stop his incoherent explanation. None of it matters now. Luke Chun, I don't love you anymore. The moment you claimed I slept with you because of that cash-purchased apartment, we were already finished. Remember? Our first time wasn't the day you bought that property. My first intimacy with Luke Chun happened during the renovation, back when we reveled in furniture shopping. One particularly sweltering weekend, we visited 3 showrooms before finding the perfect tiles. Even I reached breaking point that day, snapping at Luke in exhaustion, though equally drained. He never lost his temper. Instead, he quickened his pace, crouched before me, and glanced back with a smile. Need a piggyback ride? The scorching sunlight filtered through swaying leaves, scattering flecks of gold across Luke Chen's silhouette. A faint breeze stirred something deep in my chest. In that moment, I knew it had to be him. Time had changed us both. Luke and me, the weary man before me now, blurred with the memory of that warm smiling boy. Luke's fingers trembled slightly as he finally understood I wouldn't turn back. He swallowed tears and looked up. May everything go well for you. I felt an inexplicable disappointment. What I'd really wanted was an apology. Pointing at his wrist, I said, "Throw that rainbow bracelet away." Luke touched the cord, staggered a step, then walked off unsteadily. Just as he reached the road center, the rainbow bracelet slipped off without warning. He instinctively looked down. Blinding headlights engulfed him. Tires screeched. With a sickening thud, Luke crumpled like a severed kite string. He survived, but lost a leg. No more carousing with deadbeat friends. Just relentless work at his company. The man aged a decade overnight. The Chen parents had tried several times to arrange matches for him, only to be brushed off with a standard, "I'll think about it." City A wasn't exactly large, but neither was it small. Through my deliberate avoidance, Luke Chen and I never crossed paths again. But according to Sophia Shun, Luke still sent her holiday greetings, along with carefully worded inquiries about my well-being. I chuckled wryly and turned off my phone screen, arms wrapped around me from behind, carrying the clean scent of soap. "Jejia, got a boyfriend?" I deadpanned without missing a beat. "Several." "Why?" Jiang Yenshi's flirtatious momentum shattered as he groaned. "That's not fair. I don't want to be your FWB. I want commitment." After a long silence, I finally spoke. "I'm leaving tomorrow. New clients are waiting." His arms tightened around me, voice roughened. "If you ever want to settle down, could you look back for me?" I stood to leave. Maybe. But not now. I wanted to be free-spirited as the wind, boundless as the endless ocean, to see stormy plains and starry skies. I wasn't ready to stop, and certainly wouldn't pause for anyone. Epilogue. I returned to City A when Sophia Shun's fiancé woke up. She bombarded me with frantic calls until I came back. I brought a bouquet of calla lilies for the patient, with Jiang Yanxi waiting downstairs. Sophia anxiously pulled me outside the hospital room. "I haven't told him I was married before. Do you think he'll mind?" She looked like a guilty little girl, none of her usual elegant demeanor remaining. I couldn't help laughing. "Of course he will. Mind that he slept so long and let his precious fiancé suffer alone." Sophia planted her hands on her hips in mock fury. "I confide in you, and all you do is tease me." Nina, who had joined us unnoticed. Together, we pushed Sophia back into the hospital room. "Go on." Confession brings leniency. Resistance earns severity. Finally gathering her courage, Sophia whispered, I need to tell you something." Nina and I shamelessly eavesdropped at the door. Sophia spoke with her head bowed, words tumbling out as if pausing would steal her resolve. When she finished, silence filled the hospital room. After what felt like ages, a hoarse voice answered, "My little Sophia, you've had such a hard time all these years, haven't you?" Before the words faded, the gaunt man on the hospital bed buried his face in his hands, weeping silently. Sophia Shun, her eyes rimmed red, curled into the man's embrace. They clung to each other desperately, neither willing to let go. Outside the hospital room, I quietly eased the door shut. Through the passing years, weathering life's storms and chaos, we've finally learned to face our past tribulations with composure, dismissing them lightly. 'Twas but life's hardships after all.